You are listening to episode 46 of the Underhook Show. My name is Steve, as always, alongside my co-host Chris. Chris, how you doing on this Thursday evening?
Pretty good, my friend. Pretty good. Chilling. Got back from Squared Circled Expo weekend. Ready to talk that, wrestling, and everything in between with you.
Yeah, I want to hear all about it. I think before we get into wrestling discussion, convention talk, all that, things that are often seen as trivial when real shit goes down, and unfortunately, I think we should acknowledge the unfortunate loss of Bo Ludens of Harm's Way and Hardlore Podcast. I mean, considering we're Chicago area, obviously Harm's Way, huge band for us, especially for someone like me, seeing him at 15 years old. He had a huge influence on my stuff, and I'm sure many others as well. And I do want to throw out there, he exists in that kind of overlap that we do, where it's wrestling and I don't know if we call it hardcore music or just DIY independent music as well. Chris, we got Harm's Way, Hard Lore, and I'm Bo.
That sucks. I mean, like you said, everything's always like trivial. But seeing a band that we watched, the Eagles Club, Camelot, all them spots.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like we didn't really know him personally, but he felt like he was a homie. It's just that we've seen him so many times. But I met him once. It was random at C2E2 like a couple years ago. He was walking around. I didn't want to bother him. I don't ever like bothering people. He walked right past me, and I was like, "Hey, excuse me, are you Bo from Harm's Way?" And he goes, "Hell yeah, man!" And he was like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. So I hope he found his peace. And I mean, Sky Point, man.
Yeah, massive Sky Point. That was just terrible news. I mean, Lisa, you woke up to it. I think that broke around late morning, early afternoon today. Just horrible thing. Rest in peace, Bo. I think we before we got into any other discussion, that's something that we needed to acknowledge.
Go blast some Harm's Way. Check out Hardlore Pod. I think he did. He did a couple of songs for like House of Black and stuff too.
Yeah, it was interesting too, because I swore he was existing in that world, and it was the channel manager for What Culture Pro Wrestling, Andy Murray, was saying that he shared all kind of, anytime we ran into him, sharing all kind of conversations about pro wrestling. So, like I said, it's a unique overlap between those worlds, and it's one that we find ourselves in, and it sucks that there's one less of us, let alone somebody who contributed so much. So, rest in peace, Bo. Check in on your loved ones. It's very important. Well, Chris, we got a podcast to do, but before we get into our weekly AEW discussion, you were boots on the ground at Squared Circled Expo in Indianapolis, and I thought it'd be best to have you just share your experiences and your takeaways from the weekend on air. So, how was the con, and what were your takeaways?
Yo, the con is awesome. If you're a wrestling fan, 100% at least check out one day. I think maybe 2 days was a little bit too much for me personally, because there wasn't much of a difference between Friday and Saturday, other than a couple of the talent being there only on certain days. But as for there was 2 wrestling shows. There's a BLP show on Friday night, and then there's a Squared Circle Expo show on Saturday night. We went to the Saturday night show. We'll get to that in a second. Friday night was cool. We got down there, got checked in real quick, walked right in, walked around. I met a couple people right off the bat. I'm gonna give a shout out to them before I forget. A bunch of Mark's podcasts. I'm sorry I didn't get all of your names. I got Josh as one of the co-hosts on here. Sorry I didn't get the other 2 ladies that I spoke with. And then Top Rope Baking from Northwest Indiana makes fire wrestling related baked goods, or any baked goods. Follow them on Instagram, Top Rope Baking. They were very delicious. I had a Ken Shamrock shake cookie that was chocolate with Andy mints in the middle. Fire. But back to the con. Yeah, man, it was cool walking around. We saw a bunch of legends just sitting chilling. I met Jimmy Yang, which was pretty badass.
Hell yeah! I told Mill about that. He was freaking out. He thought that picture popped up.
Yo, I'm walking past, right? He's sitting there. No one's buying. I felt bad. It was $10 for a picture. I said, yes, sir. Take this 20. This is all you. But I was like, dude, I'm a big Yang guy, so it was good. I got questioned about my Ribera jacket, though, a lot. I don't know if there was a If I'm not following a hidden rule that I'm not supposed to wear this jacket, but it's a bootleg, I didn't care.
Yeah, I think the thing is that you're given the jacket by the restaurant,
Oh
like
well.
from working there.
Oh well. I ordered mine off the internet. Yeah, I got pressed a couple times, but it was a little weird. But other than that, it was cool. I was telling you off air. I think what I'll do is next year will not. I'll do the Friday night show, but I think I'll skip out on the Saturday show just because it was very, to me, unorganized. Because you get it, it's first come first serve, I guess, for like seating at this thing, which is fine if there was a like proper etiquette or like a line situation. So, like for example, the show was supposed to start at, or the show starting at 8, bell time's at 8. But they're not letting people in until 7:45, and you got a sold out show trying to let all these people into this thing. So us as adults start lining up because we're like, hey, the show is going to start at 8. We're going to line up at 7. So we started forming a line. They tell us that that wasn't the line because no one told us to form the line, so we had to make a new line. It was an ordeal. And like, it was like very what's the word I'm looking, like auction-esque when you're getting in there for your seat, because you walk in, you're like, oh, we got 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, and I'm just like, this is not what I like.
Yeah, it was completely up for grabs.
Yeah, so I was like, we literally stayed for like 3 matches, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. I don't like this. And it was all crammed to like a tiny room. Nah, I'm good. But other than that, I had a blast. Didn't get to meet Muda because the line was like 4 hours long. That was also a shit show, but I got to see the legend. It was all good, man. Had a blast. Bought some shit. Shout out J&J Figures, who helped me start my quest for my WrestleMania 7 collection.
Hell yeah, and I can't wait to see that come together. I was thinking about it too. Like that's a very like. There's some names on that card, man. Like I think you'll have a really cool display. I saw you got the Tenru.
The hardest one, I think, is, like Katao's gonna be my hardest one, man.
Yeah,
because I don't even think he has a figure.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I gotta go through my classic superstars to see if I can help you out. Unless you're looking for like a particular.
I'm literally just buying anything because you've seen the Tenru I bought was a Bendy.
Mm-hmm.
Because and then they told me, the J&J Figures told me that they're making not them, but they're coming out. There's a company coming out with a Hasbro-esque Tenryu, but I was like, but this one's already in my hand, so I like this one.
Yeah, we got a bin of classic superstars at the bottom of my stairs, so I will talk to you about that another time. But overall, though, glad you had a great experience. I went through the cards on Cage Match when I'm doing my kind of once or twice a week. I'll just update my ever-growing watch list, even though I'm still on February 1st. Typical. I did want to check out Taka versus Kevin Koo. That actually seemed pretty cool.
Yeah. That card was so good. The BOP card actually has some bad. No, I'm not saying like the Squared Circle one wasn't good, because I did get to see Taka Michinoku anyway, so It was awesome. You know, I got to see. We left right after the Butcher because I looked at the rest of the card and I was like, no offense to Davey Boy Smith and Ben Bishop, but it's not what I'm trying to watch right now. So, all right, well, no, sorry, Ben Bishop and Killer Cross. So I was like, no offense to them. I think next year, for sure, what I'll do is we would go down there Friday, hang out. I'll even go down like maybe Thursday, hang out, set up, or whatever. Go Friday, Saturday in the morning, come home Saturday night. Because like I said, that show was just very unorganized. I was like, man, y'all need to have better organization with this. Other than that, it was a blast down there.
It sounded like it did really well, like almost that they underestimated how well it would do between like the Muda line and the
DDP line. The Lita and Trish line, the DDP line, and the Great Muda line were like the 3, I think, longest lines. Maybe Rodman too, but yeah, the Big Show's line was nuts.
Yeah, so I think maybe it might just be a case of they have to just do it at a bigger spot next year. Indie's kind of becoming, I mean, like obviously the Midwest has always been historically like huge on pro wrestling, but I mean, between like the WWE deal, bringing all the big shows to Indianapolis, stuff like the Squared Circle Expo, this is what, the second or third one in a row?
Which one, the Squared Circle?
Yeah, I know they've done a couple by now, right?
This is 6.
Oh wow. So yeah, like that. I mean, I feel like that there's genuine interest in Indianapolis, which by not to dis not to diss Indy, but it's like relatively seen as a B market in entertainment industries. You know what I mean? So good for Indy. You know, it's awesome that they had that kind of turnout, and hopefully we keep getting more cool shit. You know, down like it's only a couple hours down the road from us.
The drive there was awesome because it's not in downtown Indy, or it's not like it's literally the outskirts. It's by the airport. It's like a 2-hour drive, clean.
Yeah, it's a straight shot.
My hotel was literally 5 minutes away. Saw Willow Nightingale. Didn't bother. I wasn't a creep. Didn't bother. But yeah, it was awesome, man. It's definitely gonna check it out again next year. Hopefully everything goes right. We can get set up down there also, and hang out for a weekend.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, again, just to reiterate, a shout out Top Rope Bakery and a bunch of Mark's podcasts. Hell yeah. Shout out all the cool people Chris ran into. And it reminded me that I did not get a Shamrock Shake this year. Damn.
See, I'm not even the biggest Shamrock Shake guy, but that cookie was delicious.
I'm a sucker for anything like mint chocolate, so like I know that Kent Shamrock cookie went hard, so
it was
I'll have to type in.
It was definitely delicious.
Yeah. Well, your weekend was clearly busy. Typically I would ask if you've been watching anything else. Have you been watching anything else?
Not this. Today I watched a little bit of Lucha Underground while I was cleaning up. Nothing crazy. I know Collision's on right now, so I'm trying to watch that after we pod.
I'm going to check that out too. Some cool stuff announced that I'll talk about during Dynamite. But I watched last week's before we made sure to watch last week's before we pod.
I did watch last week's while we were in the hotel. We did watch it. Yes. I saw one match from it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I checked out the women's tag title match. Kind of what you expect. They kind of took Willow out of the picture and punished Harley. So it looks like Willow's now just gonna do her own thing, which I mean they needed to just establish that. So I'm cool with that. I elaborated a little bit on some Death Riders tag stuff. We got more Moxley Garcia, which I really enjoyed. And what was the main event? I can't think of.
It was Kevin Knight and Okada, right?
Yes, it was, and that match was actually very good.
Because that's the match. That's the only match that we got to tune in. We watched it live when we got back to the hotel. But yeah, that match.
Kevin
was awesome.
Knight, man, Kevin Knight's awesome, dude.
He
and
jumped over that Rainmaker. I'll tell you that.
Real dialed in TV performance from Okada too. I had a lot of fun with that match. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, like I said before we came on the air, I've been dealing with some tension headaches, so I've been like a zombie like the last 48 hours. So excuse me if I'm not at my best, but Okada, Kevin Knight, definitely worth going out of your way for if you haven't seen it. That brings us to tonight, and wow, yeah, that's a swing and a miss. Dynamite was last night. I'll just cut that out and say I haven't been watching much modern stuff. I told myself I was going to start February, and I got an entire 2 matches in. So I'm going to try to get to that this weekend, because I'm probably just going to be bed rotting until my brother has a show on Saturday night.
Brett. We'll talk later. Tell me later.
Yeah. But
hey man, I'm just trying to come support my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Gators and Winfield. He does like a cover set every couple of months, and it's just like a very low key, like show up, get a pizza, just hang out. Yeah, it's a good time.
You said 2 things I like: good time and pizza.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yes, I'm probably just. The point is, though, I'm probably gonna be watching current stuff up until then. But I've just been trucking through 95 ECW. I have 45 minutes of a fan cam left, and then I am completely wrapped up with 95. I can start revising my watch list and writing. So I'll plug the video in due time. But April 1st Dynamite from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
I have one question about your ECW thing.
Yes.
The spot where Sandman jumps over the rope with the kendo stick. Do you know what match that is?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a Cactus Jack match, and they've wrestled each other in 95 like 20 fucking times. So like, you can't just search it.
Okay.
It's on one of the big shows, though.
Is it 95 though?
It's definitely 95.
Okay.
I guarantee it's 95. It might be. Is it Heat Wave? Look, I have my spreadsheet here. Let me just look.
No, I know it was one of the big shows, I think, because I was like, man, I saw the spot happen on a TikTok, and I was like, I really want to watch this match. And I was like, I know the person to ask.
Yeah.
Because that spot is great.
The beauty of Sandman, especially in 95, is that, look, he's not the most athletic dude, but he just loves to go for it. Like, when he gets in that mood of trying shit, you're about to see something. 95% of the time, it's not going to go well, but he's going to try. Okay, Cactus Jack versus Sandman. It might be from Enter Sandman, the show Enter Sandman. It's not the barbed wire match, because he clearly jumps over the ring rope.
It was just a regular jump clear, kendo stick to the head. Like, the precision of that was...
I'm going to say it's either if it's from Enter Sandman or from Hardcore Heaven.
I'll check them. I'll watch both of them. I don't care.
Yeah, they're, wait a minute. Hardcore Heaven. Yeah, that was just a straight up match. Oh my goodness. Yeah, dude, that feud's awesome because they took it on the road and, like, they wrestle at, like, these Florida fairgrounds, and Sam is just like, fuck it, let's go do spots in, like, the mud or, like, the horses run around in and, like, shit like that. Like, whatever wild shit they could think of, they try, man.
I can't wait till he takes on Invisible Man.
Yeah, I don't know if in his age now if we'll be seeing him do a full sprint over the ropes.
Yeah, you don't put it past them.
But yes, and spoilers, I will definitely be talking about that spot in one way or another when I write the video. So, AEW Dynamite, April 1st, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Obviously, with where it was taking place, there was a red flag. And man, we were waving that red flag early because the first 7 minutes of this broadcast is dedicated to goddamn Chris Jericho just staring into the crowd and just, oh my god. Now, let me reiterate. I had this spoiled for me. I knew Jericho came back before I put the episode on. I did not know the context, and I did not know how they would handle the segment. Why is this man getting 7 minutes on a broadcast just to do nothing?
Just to piss off. This had to have been submitted. Like, hey, I'll come back if you let me do this type situation or something. I think
if you do this anywhere else on the planet, it falls on his ass.
Oh, absolutely. It had to be here.
Hometown, and then, like, I'll be real though. I'm glad, like, Judas is back because, like I can get down with Judas the song, but, like, and you know, he gets the crowd into it, and it just felt like, okay, you roll out Jericho in his hometown, you bring back the sing along, they'll get into it in the building, and everybody else will have to deal with it. That's what I got out of this, and also putting two and two together. You can't tell me this man saw Edge and Christian getting this big match in Canada, and he goes, yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah. I want my hand in that.
Yeah.
His chest looked disgusting.
He's turning into, he's like leathery Jericho now.
He's always been leathery Jericho, but this is worse now. Oh, God, man. Whatever. Just, I don't have to like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I could just look away or not pay attention. But as a dedicated podcast, podcaster? I don't know what I am. But I will review anytime he's on the screen, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're reviewing Dynamite, so, you know, it comes with the territory, unfortunately.
I will say this was my Underhook +7 of the night. I'll tell you that. Because I said, dude, God damn.
I was, like, baffled by how much time they gave this.
From this until the first match is annoying. I just want to let... Because even the stuff after this was fun, but that went on long.
Yeah.
So it's like, Jesus. And then,
yeah, well, before we hopped on, we talked about just, like, we were like, damn, we thought last week's structure was strange. I would say this show felt more Skeleton Crew than last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather. Yet, if you look at everybody who was on Collision, I can't really guess that they were short-handed unless, like, there was just travel delays, but this felt very strange considering, like, how many segments Kenny Omega and MJF were getting, which, don't get me wrong, I understand basing your show around the big match for your pay-per-view, like, that makes sense, but considering AEW has, like, 5,000 people signed, it just seemed a bit, like, barren.
Yeah, it was very bare bones for sure, but It's not. I mean, the matches weren't bad
No,
ish.
there wasn't anything on this show I hated as far as like from an in-ring perspective. It just felt the layout felt entirely strange, and I think for being, we have one TV left until the pay-per-view, well, one Dynamite left, I should say. It didn't feel like there was that much development heading into Dynasty. We had one match confirmed.
That I'm definitely gonna speak upon.
Oh yeah,
Because they'll get there.
yeah. But I think before the actual contract signing, Ospreay tried to get the jump on Moxley. He got his hits in, but that receipt's coming, and that would obviously play into at the beginning of Ospreay Pac. But it was important for them to establish that at the beginning of the show, given what would happen later. First proper segment, though, is the contract signing for the main event of Dynasty. MJF and Kenny Omega, more of the same on their promo front. I'm shocked that he let the hair plugs line go.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of just admitting it now.
He's just like, well, you can't really ignore it, I guess, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like an open secret, I guess, but I was like, damn, like Kenny's just letting that shit fly. It's also funny, too. Kenny's just out here in his ring gear for, like, getting ready for his match. So, like, it goes back to the segment, I want to say it was last week, where he's like, oh, excuse my attire. But then he's like, nope, just right back out in his tights.
It's like, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. The important thing here, though, and it remains to be seen if they'll stick with this. It feels like they're really making a point of writing in Kenny's diverticulitis into the build of this match.
It's what you asked for, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, yeah, I hope they focus, and I really hope that they continue to do it, and I hope the match exactly what we asked for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's almost like you have these circumstances baked into the match. It gives you something to anchor the work around, especially if MJF's going to be controlling a great deal of this thing. But with MJF, I'll believe it when I see it.
Likewise. But I'm interested in this match. I'm hoping Kenny gets the Duke though. But we'll talk about that next week when we do our preview.
Yep. Previews and predictions for Dynasty, whatever's announced for Dynasty, because obviously with AEW, it could be the day of the show and you get matches added onto the card. But whatever we got this time next week or on Wednesday, that's what we will be discussing. But this functioned not only to build to the pay-per-view match, but for to establish the main event of the evening with Speedball coming out in support of Kenny Omega.
They did this as a, hey, we're sorry for that Jericho thing.
Yeah, and giving the Canadian guys on the roster some love in their homeland. So the main event of the evening would be Speedball Mike Bailey versus MJF in an Eliminator style match. So if he does beat MJF, he gets a future title shot. But stick a pin in that for now. Opening match of the evening, I guess you could consider this a blunt rotation match because the babyface team feels all kinds of crazy. But essentially, it's just a list of people Ricochet was talking shit about. So I kind of love that matchmaking.
It's the bully getting his comeuppance, you know?
Yeah, Ricochet's running his mouth. He name dropped Brody King and Kenny Omega, and obviously he wants his shot at Jack Perry's belt back. So Tony Khan said, okay, you get to fight all three of them. And obviously...
Also, Shaw Brody King took a video of my tattoo. I got to show him my God's Hate tattoo. So
oh, yeah.
I forgot to mention that.
Be harder.
He was like, man, this is sick. I was like, yeah, it hurt. But yeah, it's cool. But yeah, no, this match ruled. Like, you texted me and you were like, Toa and Brody minutes. And I said, ooh, I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I fucked with this. This was good. This was a good opener finally after 27 minutes.
Yeah, which is unlike nonetheless, yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate Ricochet's stooging in this match, like trying to get his shit in the corner, and then Brody kind of gives him like that head fake.
Yeah.
And Ricochet just cowering in fear. He's the best when he's stooging like this, and then obviously he could do the over the top athletic stuff with Perry and Kenny. And I did appreciate him ducking Kenny at the beginning of the match too. Like, it's like you're talking all this shit, and then just the second the bell rings, you're getting out of the ring.
Shitbag. I love it. I love a heel like that.
I love it, man. I'm eating this stuff up.
Shout out to Brody doing a dive as a big fuck you to Pete Rosenberg.
Did you see Eric Stevens' response to that tweet?
No.
He's just like, I think you should sit this one out, dude. And I'm like, hey man, way to be polite on that one. But it's like, 'cause that dude calls Evolve now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's at least adjacent. So I'm like, wait, the rap podcast dude is like telling people not to dive.
Yeah, he does Evolve, and then even before that, he was always with WWE doing like stuff like for their
the pre-shows. Yeah. I don't know.
But like, yeah, man, sit this one out, big homie. Like,
it happened. Megan Vane, it happened to her too. On Saturday, it's just it's called a suicide dive for a reason. You're taking a risk, and it's not going to go well every single time. But we're not, as much as we could sit here and critique things and just say how we would prefer them to be done. You can't be going safety police on people you work with, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, weird. Just sit this one out.
Yeah. Shout out Eric Stevens. Oh, I don't know if you saw Pandemonium Pro. They're like unofficially bringing back King of Trios. Yeah, this is in September. And one of the trios announced is Violence is Forever with Eric Stevens.
Yeah, DPW forever.
Yes, sir. Black and Orange staying alive. Another Black and Orange company has emerged that we'll be talking about probably over the next couple of months as well. God, I can't think of the name. I'll talk about another time, but they're running like a Jonathan Gresham and Lee Moriarty joint produce thing, which seems pretty sick, but yeah. Anyways, One Wing Angel from Kenny Omega on Ricochet takes this one for the baby faces. And I think Kenny getting the win over Ricochet too. It's like, hey buddy, like, you're not getting this world title scene right now. Like, you gotta focus on other things. But fun match, I would say.
Like not being a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, for one. But I'm glad that he didn't get like fully like exotished off the TV.
Yeah,
I guess
he didn't get banished. Yeah,
so that's why I'm glad he's still on TV. The man's still on TV.
Yeah, that could have been really bad.
I don't want anybody, or I don't want the demand not being on my, or the Gates Agony not being on my TV. So
yeah, now you obviously don't want them being punished for somebody else's actions either. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm glad everything worked out, because the word on the street was like Warner was really pissed, and I feel like if they don't want somebody on TV, I mean, they have a history of that, so glad it all worked out for the best, and I would love to see the demand against Jet Speed and Mystico.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Yeah.
Just chuck it, Mystico. Give me Mystico and Toa Leona minutes. That sounds interesting. Give me that.
He could probably base for the God.
That's what I'm saying. He would definitely base for him, bro.
Yeah. Couple promos here before our next match. Willow setting up the open challenge. I saw who accepted it.
Me too.
Yeah, which I'll take a chance on it. That's probably airing as we speak, but names people were throwing around out there were like Dakota Kai and Danny Luna, and my answer to that is probably not getting that on a tape show.
Ooh, Danny Luna. I forgot she
requested
release.
for a release and got it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Give me
Which is funny. Go ahead.
Give me Danny Luna in AEW, now that I think about it. Yeah, give me that.
Well, High On was tweeting that it's time to run back the feud.
Yeah, give me that too. I was there for one of them.
Yeah.
See?
That street fight probably my favorite of their matches, in all honesty. But I would love for Danny Luna to show up in AEW in some capacity. She has a long history with Alex Windsor, working in like Rev Pro, Pro Wrestling Eve, etc. So hopefully that's where she will end up. I don't see her going to NXT, given that she just got out of TNA.
Yeah, no, I would assume
she's way too good for NXT, in my opinion.
I would assume AEW or even MLW, because Lady Frost just got signed to MLW.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because that morning, before the release was announced, the Daily Violent People list, Danny Luna was in that. And in my blurb, I wrote for Danny Luna, and I said, It's another example of DPW understanding TNA wrestlers better than TNA does. And I mean, if her getting the hell out of there doesn't tell you that. Yeah, I think between what Dani Luna can do in big title matches, in the more plunder matches, death match adjacent stuff, she's obviously not afraid to bleed. I think AEW is more tailored to her strengths than WWE would be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like she could be herself in other company. You know what I'm saying?
There's a ton of interesting matchups there too, like Dani Luna, Toni Storm.
Whenever Toni Storm comes back.
Right, I just mean, but like both of their willingness to do whatever, like to make sure the match is like to serve the match's needs. If it is bleeding, if it is drama, like whatever. And then obviously, your real ass kickers in there like Willow, Jamie Hayter, Chris Stat, like Queen Aminata. I mean, obviously her and Aminata have a history too, but I believe so. Because she wasn't in Blood and Guts, and she couldn't defend the women's title in the last DPW show, but that was all like 5 months ago, so I hope she's doing okay. Cage match that real quick before we get into the next promo.
It's the Queen.
Me too, man. Me too. Yeah, she hasn't had a match recorded since October, so get well soon, Queen Aminata.
I just realized sorry not to cut you off, but I just realized we got Chris Jericho back before we got Switchblade back.
Yeah, life ain't fair, man.
I hate it here.
Yeah. But we were talking about Collision, essentially a unceremonious hiatus to Babes of Wrath. No turn or anything. I just think that the AEW realizes it's time to get Willow back on track. And she cut a pre-tape to set up the open challenge, and obviously that match was taped and is airing now. Then we get to a very brief Cage and Copeland promo, which I was surprised that this is all they got for having a show in Canada.
Yeah, but they're building up for their Toronto or where's the? It's not
Vancouver.
Toronto, right? Vancouver. Yeah, okay.
Opposite coast.
Yeah. So yeah, they're building up. I like what they're doing though. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like they're on the mission to find FTR. They don't care about anything else. They just want to hurt FTR.
They're on smoke, dude.
Yeah, it's on site, bro.
But they ended up beating up Roppongi Vice instead.
Poor Roppongi.
Mm-hmm.
Roppongi Knights. Roppongi Lights.
Yep. RockyRomero.bandcamp.com. Okay.
I knew it was coming. I was like, come on, man. Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
Yeah, set me up for the alley-oop there. But getting into Pac versus Will Ospreay. And last week I asked you the question, essentially similar one to the MJF Kenny stuff. What kind of match are we going to get here? Because Ospreay now has this weakness baked in to where he's entering the match with coming off of neck fusion surgery, a major surgery, a career-altering surgery. Still rocking the KT tape on the shoulders. You're given that visual target. Pac came back from injury working a different style, working a much more grounded style. And all signs pointed to them building a match around the injury. The way that they opened the match really seemed like they were going to do that. The final product, not so much, but it wasn't the complete opposite either. I didn't feel like they fully committed to the fireworks show, and they didn't fully commit to working the neck. But what are your thoughts on this match?
I thought they were gonna play different. I mean, you talked about like how are they gonna play it smart, play a different style, and they absolutely did not do that.
No,
they went guns blazing, but I loved it. You know me, I'm always gonna ride for a Will Ospreay match and a Pac match, a singlet Pac match at that.
Yep, yeah, singlet Pac.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match at all. I liked it. Told the story, building up for Dynasty.
Yeah, so I did like this match. I thought it was a good match. Maybe a couple of things holding it back from being a great match. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt though, because I still think Ospreay building matches around something like this is still relatively new to him. Like, I know he did have the feud in New Japan with someone who won't be named, where it was a similar thing, but again, never fully committed to it. Here, I think what kind of made me critical of some of the decisions was like the ideas were there, but they weren't necessarily executed. So I think if you just did normal entrances and had the match they would have had, I wouldn't have questioned it. When you are doing the injury angle at the beginning of the match, going to break, Then when the match actually begins, they're going video game mode. Just a little inconsistent. However, when you are going video game mode, hard pressed to find two people better at it than these two.
Absolutely.
I mean, the shit on the outside, like into that DDT, man, like they make it look effortless.
Yeah, Ospreay's selling also. Both of their selling is great too. But yeah, this was awesome. I think it was a spot where he hits him with the hidden blade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but I forgot but it was so quick. I said out loud, God damn. But it was just, they don't care. They're just like, oh, we got injured before? Yeah. Don't tornado DT, moonsault into a tornado DT on the floor. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, dude. That was one of them where I'm just like, you know what? I'm throwing my goggles, my critic goggles out the window real quick because, goddamn, dude, it just looked insane. But I did really appreciate the finish. Because even if there are inconsistencies, I do love the idea of this wasn't just them going crazy and then Ospreay, okay, Hidden Blade or Stormbreaker and gets the win. It's like, no, like he scraped this one out by flipping the Brutalizer into a pin. So again, I think there's a lot of good ideas here. Maybe they just didn't execute on all of them. But this is still relatively new territory for Ospreay. So I'll see, I think verdict's still out on me as far as if he is actually taking all these things into consideration. And also, this is only a second match back. I think you put him with certain people, you might be able to get that side of his game to the forefront. So I'm waiting and seeing for now. But I still had fun with this, despite my criticisms.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. I liked it.
Yeah, probably match of the night. I mean, I would say so.
But yeah, for sure. Both two matches back were all gas, no breaks too, by the way. Even though his first match was against Blake Christian, he isn't no slouch.
Ospreay doesn't look like, he still looks like he's in ridiculous shape. He doesn't look like he's missed a step regarding his athleticism.
Oh yeah, and he's on that 2 chicken breast, 1 asparagus diet.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. But Death Riders, so interesting angle here, specifically with Moxley's words. We're going to rerun the whole Pillmanizing the neck. But Moxley, I guess if you want to say, kind of big leagued him again.
Yeah, told him to watch his mouth.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh no, you're all right. But He says, nobody's coming for you. Ospreay today on Twitter quoted saying, I got people in other places. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't know if you were aware of this. He is returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling this weekend.
Wasn't it? I know he was, the last time he was there, he was talking to, I don't know the guy's name, Kyle Newton?
Callum Newman.
I was like, that was close. He was talking to him about the United Empire stuff, so I feel like that's going to have something to do with that, right?
Yeah, because his match, let me find the, he's tagging with United Empire, not with Callum Newman. Callum Newman won the New Japan Cup, so he's challenging Tsuji in the main event. But Sakura Genesis 2020.
Dog is going back to New Japan. Let's go.
Yeah, he is teaming with...
Come back to New Japan in July for the G1. Just in Chicago. You don't got to go anywhere else.
He's teaming with Hanare and Great Okan against Yuya Uemura, Taichi, and El Desperado.
Base Great Okan.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if he does bring United Empire to AEW, or if they do some match in Forbidden Door, Moxley and Great Okan have tremendous chemistry. So, I will have that if that's the plan. But I can't really think of who else he would bring in, because it sounds like he'd have to bring somebody in,
I don't know who he would bring in.
I mean, it'd have to be United Empire guys.
I'm saying, if you don't bring United Empire in, who else would it be?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I believe he was referring to. Remains to be seen where they go from there. But coming out of the break, only women's match of the night, but we at least got the world champ back on TV. Triangle of Madness against the Brawling Birds, featuring Mina Shirakawa, which I thought this was fine. I still don't really know where we're going, though, as far as Tekla's next defense, and still not a women's match booked for the pay-per-view. And we got about a week to go.
Yeah, you're going to get a random thrown together match of Jamie Hayter against Tekla.
I mean, I'm not going to complain, but I think whatever's going on with Tony, this had to have just thrown a wrench into all of the booking, man, because this just feels so strange.
Yeah, something got derailed somewhere, but you need to. I feel like you're gonna get the Jamie Hayter Tekla match just because of how the match ended here.
Yeah, she did pick up the pinfall. I think you could do Mina again, but I think I would take Jamie Hayter on pay-per-view because I know we were concerned that they're giving up on her, so I think that would be a good chance for her to kind of reassert herself. But again, though, you're spending all this time building up Brawling Birds. I mean, they're the only team I feel like that would be in contention for a tag title shot. But you also don't have to necessarily do a tag title match on pay-per-view. They need to sort this out, man. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's something, but I feel like easiest bailout is you're just gonna do Hater and Tekla, and you can always just run it back.
Yeah, I hope we have some more clarity after tonight because they obviously they'll pre-tape a bunch of shit for Collision, so hopefully coming out of that in the Willow match we'll have like a better idea. But just dude, I feel like all the good stuff in the women's division in 2026 has been outside of the title picture, which, hey, to their credit, that's something that they haven't been very good at, in this first decade as a company. But I'm thinking of anything Tony or Marina were involved in,
Yeah, speaking of, did you hear during the Mox? No, sorry, during the Osprey Mox stuff at the end, they said that the match was for the title.
They did make it a title match.
But they said the match was for the title on Dynamite, but on Collision read something is that's when Osprey told him to put the title on the line. So it was just very confusing.
So production's getting their wires crossed,
Yeah. So because I was like, damn, when they announced that the match was for the title, but now so now it's official that that's for the belt.
Yeah, that seems like a misstep because Moxley's keeps saying, hey, no one's coming for you, but by making it a title match, there can be no interference legally, so...
Yeah, so no one's coming for you.
Yeah, we need some housekeeping here, TK. You got a week. I am excited for Moxley versus Anthony Bowens on Collision. That seems like it could be a bit of a sleeper hit, and it's a Moxley singles match on TV in 2026, and he has not missed very often.
I'm gonna definitely, after we get out here, I'm tuning that in.
Yeah, I finally check that out tonight. See, I'm putting that on while I'm uploading the podcast. Depends on if that's tonight or tomorrow morning. Remains to be seen.
Makes sense.
Yep. But interesting development, and actually one of the real developments as far as building this card. Darby Allin in-ring promo calling out Maxwell, but as we know, he struck a deal with the Don Callis family, and we talk about Lance Archer's swag, but every single person that Don Callis brought out for this segment looked crazy. Everybody looked fucked up, man.
Dream blunt rotation right there.
Because you got Lance Archer in I can't think of the art style, but it's Japanese style painting, but it had it wasn't just koi, it had tigers on it and shit. Probably a $400 t-shirt, knowing Lance Archer. And he went with the beanie because they're in Canada and it's cold.
It's cold. You gotta cover up.
On the opposite side of him, you got Andrade still doing the Sherlock Holmes get up, which that in itself looks crazy.
Nope, he ain't the one I wrote about. Don't worry.
But you got Hechicero in the back.
In the turtleneck.
But El Clone going bright red polo with the blue mask, dude. I was like, who the hell is that? And it took me a second.
He said, it's me, the clone.
He's like, I just retired from independent wrestling. I'm getting my money up, and I'm gonna show up to TV.
He said,
with the
Air
swag
who?
out.
Shit.
Yeah.
And right here.
Yeah, I believe he wrestled his old faction in a triple threat. And the show was billed as his last independent match, which that's a shame. Obviously, I'm sure they got big plans for him once Hologram is back. And he's getting CMLL bookings now, so good for El Clone.
Get that CMLL money.
That dinero.
Get more masks. Get more different color masks and shirt combos.
Yeah. Now, we talk about Lance Archer and his injury. My man's taking a skateboard to the cast.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck.
There's nobody doing it like this right now.
Mox is lucky that Darby got in the way, alright? Same. That title would have been on Archer.
Oh yeah. But I mean, we're getting in our own bit here with like Lance Archer swag and all that, but the main takeaway from the segment though is that Darby would have to face a member of this faction at the pay-per-view in order to agree to a title shot. The man selected was Andrade, so we are indeed getting Andrade versus Darby Allin. It seems like the perfect time to have this match. Both of these guys have just had, like, I guess the first quarter of their year was tremendous for both of them. It's just one of those things where strike while the iron's hot. You got two guys on incredible runs on a collision course. I cannot wait for this. And I'm going to go back in the archives and see if they did have a TV match, because I want to see what they would base it off.
I want to say they wrestled before.
Yeah, when he was like trying to buy Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Mr. Stink.
Mr. Stink.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that, though. I mean, Andrade is just... I feel like he's just got this... all the motivation in the world after kind of coasting for the last few years, so I cannot wait to see this. And I guess from a narrative point of view, he did not seem thrilled about getting his card called for this.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to get that separation soon.
He should have his own faction.
He should have. Luchadors that take their pants off.
No pantalones.
Yeah. I don't think he needs a faction, bro. All honesty. Like,
just be him.
He could do it on his own, man. Like, I know he can.
I feel like eventually they're going to have to acknowledge him and Roosh.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking, but he doesn't need one necessarily. I think he can totally have one, though.
Did you see my Frank Mortos attorney at law picture? I picked up. I found a beast. It was an old like beast Tauros.
Black Taurus.
Yeah, it was a Black Taurus figure. I was like,
That's
yeah,
badass.
I'll take that.
Everybody's favorite lawyer, but
Frank Mortos attorney at Raw.
I think you could have him lead LFI or feud with LFI, and it would be tremendous. For now, we got this, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I still think a big name's going to leave by Double or Nothing, because they're taking their time with it to catch the stuff. Andrade is clearly not pleased with what's going on, who he's being booked against in kayfabe, so I think there's more stuff to do there. But Brody King and Jack Perry make the save, and that was also a very strange group brought together.
Very.
Brody and Darby do have a history, obviously, and Perry and Darby were part of the anointed four pillars that fell apart pretty quickly.
Sammy Guevara is one of them pillars. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And Brody also, well, not in AEW, I don't think, he has history with Jack Perry and GCW.
Okay.
A little lore there, you know.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of connected there. All West Coast guys. You know, Darby's obviously from the Pacific Northwest, Brody King and Jack Perry, SoCal. But the Kenny Darby interaction is very interesting to me, though, because I feel like that's one of those matches that they just never got to.
We never did get that match, huh?
I don't believe we did. And now it makes me think, well, who's to say? I mean, you could easily run that at Double or Nothing if Kenny wins.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I don't see MJF winning. So this is just, we're speaking in future, because we're going to talk about this when we break down our predictions. But I don't see MJF winning, so you do Kenny Darby at Double or Nothing. That'd be cool. Even if MJF won, you can still do MJF Darby at Double or Nothing. It'd still be good.
Yeah, so I'm cool with that. I mean, you could also do Kenny Andrade on the flip side, but because I feel like Darby losing, and again, we'll get into this next week, Darby losing wouldn't have hurt him as much. I think there's all kind of things you could do here, but I'm also thinking of Ospreay's clearly the one. If you didn't have him end MJF's reign, you could easily do a passing of the torch if this is Kenny's last run. So I think there's all kind of things they could do with it. So like I said, we'll elaborate more on that next week.
Do you think, well, let's talk about it, but do you get Kenny Ospreay?
I think you could.
Don't tease me.
It would be, and plus that would be their...
It wouldn't be as good as the one from Wrestle Kingdom, right? Was it Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah. It would be the conclusion to their modern trilogy.
When he fucking did that moonsault, that fucking pillar terrified me. God,
dude, that was just a scary ass match.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite. That's what made me like Osprey and all. Like more honest. I always liked him, but I was like, damn, this match rules.
Yeah, no, the Kenny Osprey Tokyo Dome match is that match is incredible. I love that match. But yeah, so I think they never really concluded that trilogy because Osprey got his win back in Canada. So you could do a tiebreaker with that, or you could just do Osprey beats MJF and send the fans home happy. Excuse me. I told you I'm running on like 0.25 speed today, but
Wait, was there are other matches at Forbidden Door, right? No. Yeah.
yes, yes.
I couldn't remember what.
And then I believe their first meeting was PWG in like 2015. That was like Baby Osprey.
It was Baby Osprey and Baby.
Kenny was still a junior heavyweight.
Yeah, so Baby Kenny technically. But yeah. It was quite ironic. Me and Josh were watching. We did watch a couple of PWG. I showed him some 2015 Roddy because he didn't know about a King of Fuck Shit Mountain. So,
oh my goodness, an absolute demon.
He did, but he didn't know. Like I had to show him. Like my lord, he was just an asshole. And Peter,
just yeah, total motherfucker. And I say that affectionately.
When Sabre beat him, it was like Sting beating Hogan. Like to stop the NWO, you know. But yeah, that's I do remember the Osprey Kenny match. Very Baby Osprey.
I've actually not seen that one. I do know it happened though.
Yeah, that's the PWG is like the one like I told you, is like my favorite independent promotion. Mm-hmm. So I try to collect all their physical media, and around that time is when I started getting into them heavy. So, him and Speedball, when Speedball came out here too, when he was young, PWG was like the first place that I remember seeing him at.
I heard that Roddy Speedball match is incredible too.
There's a Kenny Speedball match too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice segue, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, I want to stick with Roddy for one moment because before we get into Speedball MJF, did you see the blunt rotation match for tonight?
It was Roddy. It was a conglomeration.
Kevin Knight. It's Roddy, Orange Cassidy, Kevin Knight, and Mystico.
Yeah, against
Claudio, Yuta, David Finlay, and Clark Connors.
Yeah,
Tornado rules. So no.
Yeah, that's what made me want to watch it. I said,
I absolutely have to see that. There's no way that's anything less than just like a good time.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So between that, Moxley Bowens and the Willow Nightingale Open Challenge, I'm definitely gonna check out Collision. But as established in the first proper segment of the show, Speedball gets his shot at MJF. Shout out to the fan on the barricade who did a Winnipeg Jets rip that said Jet Speed.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what that was. That was hard.
I had a hand-me-down from my brother. It's that same logo, but it's a Comeback Kid shirt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because
shout out Comeback Kid.
Yeah, and that was before the Jets moved back, but that's just an awesome Winnipeg Jets logo, and seeing it at Jet Speed, that because obviously Jets. There's no way they could officially print that, but if they did, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd buy 4 of them right now.
Yeah, just a cool ass sign, dude. But MJF Speedball, I was pleasantly surprised by this, just because MJF wasn't doing too much to frustrate me, and I just thought Speedball just showed out. Like Speedball was awesome in this match.
Yeah, this match is awesome. He said, I'm French-Canadian. I'm going to show out. And show out he did.
Also, he had the Canada tights on deck because MJF, like, we kind of knew we were getting the Lex Express gear when he said, you're facing the American hero. But, good way to get everybody in the room invested. So Canada are a very proud nation and will rally around their guys. That naturally set the stage for this. Yeah, dude, just Speedball as a fiery babyface just did everything he needed to. He was laying his shit in, and I just genuinely wanted to see him pull off the upset, and unfortunately he couldn't. Maxwell put some stank on that Heat Seeker to close it out.
That, and then the tombstone on the apron before that was disgusting.
Yeah.
Every time Speedball lands on his knees, I know it hurts. As an old man, I know it hurts.
Yeah, the one thing I wouldn't have done, I get that there's like not the visual pinfall, but like they got around having MJF kick out by getting the rope break, but I just wouldn't have done Ultimate Weapon at all
No.
in a match like this. I would have protected that a little bit more.
Yeah, because like I like how they haven't used Ultimate Weapon a lot, and like,
He's been, but when he does pull it off, he wins. So I would
yeah,
not have MJF get out of it by any means. If anything, I'll just have him dodge it, or if he is going for it. But obviously, I think when you do land that move, it has to suck. Let alone if you just fall knees first into the apron, or the mat, the canvas in general.
regardless, it sucks. Taking
Yeah,
it, doing the move, taking the move. It's either way, you're hurting.
yeah, but yeah, I was just really impressed with Speedball here, man. Like, just absolutely rose to the occasion. His AEW run is just aging better by the week, man. Like, I knew he would be a good fit, and he needed the change of scenery, but just like more and more, I'm like, holy shit, like this was made for him.
Absolutely, I'm so glad he's here.
Yeah, so shout out Speedball, hell of a performance. We kind of knew what would happen anyways, but Kenny makes the save. He was on commentary for this, but he makes the save after MJF gets his shots in after the match, and
Really weird ending.
yeah, the show just kind of ended, it felt like, and that's why I think you were saying the Ospreay Death Rider stuff to go off the air maybe would have made more sense.
Yeah, because you could have had him all just standing in the ring over Osprey, crowd booing him, fade to black. But I mean, you want to send the crowd out happy. I get it, but
Yeah, but the two Canadian guys get their moment, so I kind of get I could see why they went with this in the end. Yeah, kind of a not anticlimactic, but just like that's all, folks. Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, that was Dynamite. Bit of a weird one, like I said, from a structural point of view, and kind of the limited roster compared to who was actually at the show. I mean, if you look at that again, the tornado tag is like it's an 8-man tornado tag, but nonetheless, not a bad show. I don't think nothing here really pissed me off or frustrated me, despite my criticisms towards some of the decisions. This just felt like maybe like I feel like a show like this should have happened further from the pay-per-view because, like I said, you got a week to fill out your card, and AEW pay-per-views, as we know, we're talking 10 to 12 matches. And we have, what, 4? Yeah, that's a lot of work to do over the next week.
yeah, and that's to say if they're gonna put anything tonight on Collision, if they're gonna announce, I mean, you gotta announce more shit going into Dynamite. So I mean,
Because last year, because of the Owen being earlier on the calendar, they kind of had that cop out of saying, well, we're just going to open the tournament at the pay-per-view. So we got Kevin Knight Ospreay, and it was Mercedes versus Julia Hart. So like you could, like in that situation, be like, yeah, we're going to tack on tournament matches to round out this card. You can't do that this time. So you need to book around, like, it feels like they're kind of placed into a corner by having such a quick turnaround between pay-per-views. But this isn't their first time doing that, so I'm almost like wondering what the deal is because it does seem a bit strange.
yeah, I mean, I always have faith they'll hopefully come through. You know,
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, regardless of whatever the Edge and Christian FTR match is, like MJF, Kenny, Ospreay, Moxley, RB Andrade. That's a very strong core to build around. I mean, depending, obviously, MJF, Kenny could go either way, but like on paper, those are marquee matches. So now you just need to fill everything else out. I'm not too concerned because they do have things going on. Like you could throw in a conglomeration dogs match again, or get David Finlay out there in a singles match. Where I am concerned is the lack of consideration towards the women's division right now. Because again, you have 3 titles in this division, 1 week, no challengers lined up. Cut and dry challengers, I should say, because you could do Jamie and Tekla, or Jamie and Windsor against Bane and Cross.
yeah,
But
not to
no
spoil,
build to anything.
not to spoil anything, but there were matches announced tonight.
Okay. So,
As I'm seeing,
yeah, because it looks like Collision's about to finish up airing as we're recording. So, well, that'll answer my questions, and we'll have more of a card to preview and predict next week, in addition to discussing the go home television. But I think that's it from us. Chris, do you have anything to plug?
Nothing, man. Just take care of each other out there, man.
Yep, I will shout out the Violent People 100 list. It is nearing the halfway point, 10 entries a day. My blurbs have been sprinkled throughout, and there is going to be more of my writing on those drops. Violentpeople.co. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I love these big community-driven lists, and it's just a good way to get your voice heard and get your opinions out there compared to, whenever like Sports Illustrated or ESPN drop a wrestling list, and you're like, yeah, you could tell that these guys shoehorn a bunch of names in there to look credible. Whereas, like, in this sort of thing, it's like you get to platform what you actually watched, what you enjoyed, and people that you think deserve the attention. So, for example, like today's drop, a ton of DPW guys were in it. And I think that's great. And there's going to be more. Or no, that was yesterday's drop. Yesterday's drop had, like, Guarini, Tankman, Danny Luna, and one more. I'm trying to think of who else it was. Point being, violentpeople.co. All the honorable mentions are on there too. And now we're doing the actual top 100. So I just wanted to plug that. And one more time before we go, rest in peace, Bo. You will be sorely missed. But for Steve and for Chris, if you got this far into the podcast, thank you so much for listening. And we'll talk to you again next time.
See ya.